I want to take you to South London, though, because there's been a big demonstration on the roof of the Labour Deputy Leader Harriet Harmen's house. Two demonstrators from the campaign group Father for Justice have climbed onto the roof. They're dressed as superheroes. Our correspondent, Navdeep Darryl Westell, is at the scene for us. Navdeep, just tell us what's been happening.
Well, Maxine, Harriet Harmen emerged from her house about an hour and a half ago, but these guys crept into her garden at 6 o'clock this morning, put up a ladder against her back wall and climbed onto the roof and unravelled the banner that you can see there. It says, "A father is for life, not just for conception." Now, what they're saying is that this is a campaign to highlight the rights of fathers, and that people like Harriet Harmen, the Deputy Labour leader and former Justice Minister, have ignored the needs of fathers for too long, that they've campaigned for the rights of women but ignored those of fathers who want access in the court, in the British justice system, to their children. I mean, the two of them addressed Mark Harris and John Stansby, as you say, as cartoon characters, superheroes, Captain Conception and Cash Gordon. They've been here since 6 o'clock, and the police are still trying to negotiate with them to try and come down. They say they've got enough supplies to keep them up there for a week. Harriet Harmen and her husband were in the house. They've been in their house the entire time, and as I said, emerged about an hour ago. And this is what Harriet Harmen said to waiting reporters.
At about 7 o'clock, I think, this morning, Fathers for Justice climbed onto the roof of my house. We're going to move out and stay somewhere else, because I don't think it's fair for police resources to be tied up outside my house because of this demonstration, when they could be doing other important policing work in my constituency and in the rest of the London Borough of Southwark. I also think it's unfair on the neighbours. So we're moving out. They've said that this is because they want a meeting with me, but I've checked with my constituency office and they haven't sought a meeting, and I've also checked with my ministerial office and they haven't asked for a meeting there. So this is clearly just a demonstration. In addition to that, my constituents know that if ever they want to have an appointment with me, well, in fact, they don't need an appointment. They can come down to the town hall on a Friday where I have my advice surgery. And in fact, the day before yesterday, I was having an advice surgery and there was about 50 or so of my constituents there. And I was down at the town hall and nobody from Fathers for Justice came down. So this is a demonstration. It's not fair to tie up the police resources and inconvenience my neighbours. The police have got more important work that they can be doing. So I'd like to thank them very much for their professionalism that they've exercised this morning, and I don't plan to make any further statement or answer any questions.
Well, Harriet Harmen says that she is open to talks with this campaign group, but Justice for Fathers say they've tried in the past to speak to Harriet Harmen. They've had a firm no, a refusal to speak to her, and that's what they're saying. They said all they want is some sort of dialogue with the government. Well, we're joined now by Darryl Westell from Fathers for Justice. Darryl, I mean, it seems an extreme step to take to just, you know, pitch yourself up on somebody's roof. It's a Sunday morning and she's a woman at home alone with her husband, no security outside, and you've taken advantage of that. Well,
yeah, we have. Lots of fathers in this country today are spending Sunday without their children through no fault of their own. You know, Harriet Harmen, she's like the Alan Sugar of family law, telling fathers, "You're fired." Not so long ago, Harriet Harmen wrote a pamphlet describing her views that fathers, quote, were not really important in the lives of families. I think the recent spate of murders on the streets of London probably indicates otherwise, that when you remove the fathers from society, when you remove decent, loving, caring parents from their children's lives, the consequences are catastrophic.
I mean, are people really going to have much sympathy with you if you're going to do something like this? I mean, dressing up as superheroes, pitching up on someone's roof. I mean, really, is that going to gain sympathetic vote from the public?
Well, I hope so. I mean, what more can we do? 30 years of, you know, tea and scones with the judiciary has left, you know, a Siberia of broken children. And family law in this country is more akin to a North Korean-style dictatorship than a progressive democracy. Those guys up there, one of them's a registered childminder, yet he can't see his own child. And Mark Harris spent a year in Pentonville prison for waving hello to his children because it wasn't in his allotted contact time.
Harriet Harmen, though, has said to you to the campaign group. I have a surgery on a Friday. Walk in, tell me what the problem is, and I will talk to you. Why go to that extent of actually pitching up on her roof? And quite frankly, it's a scary situation for anybody discovering that on Sunday morning.
Well, I'm not interested in whether or not Harriet Harman's scared or not. I couldn't care less about whether or not she has her Sunday disrupted. What I'm here to tell Harriet Harman and the Fathers for Justice movement is that we need the law to change, and you, as a leading feminist, have been opposed to fathers' rights and putting a further nail in the coffin of fatherhood with the human embryology bill, which recently outlawed the need for a biological father in a child's life. So now, if you're a father, you're stripped physically from your children's lives through the family courts, you're stripped financially through the CSA, and then biologically now you're stripped through the human embryology bill. It's a disgrace, and these guys up here are not going anywhere until she speaks to us.
But really, is this the way forward? I mean, if other campaign groups were to take part in similar publicity stunts, and quite frankly they are publicity stunts, you've done similar things at the Houses of Parliament during Question Time under Tony Blair and at the Tower of London, can people really be sympathetic to you, or does this give it carte blanche for everybody to go out there if they've got a cause and try and do something like this?
Let's get this straight. What's more important here, the rights of children and exposing the abuse of our children, or the inconvenience of a cabinet minister on a bright Sunday afternoon? This isn't just, a protest about petrol prices. It isn't something which is, less important than the most fundamental thing that we can talk about, which is families, fathers, mothers, children. Society is suffering under this cloak of secrecy which family law creates.
OK, Darryl Westell from Fathers for Justice, many thanks for speaking to us. Well, these two chaps intend, they say, to stay up there for a week. They say they've got enough food, provisions, clothes, but I very much doubt whether the police will allow that to happen. They're currently in negotiation with the two gentlemen, and I assume from all the efforts that they're hoping that this sort of siege of Harriet Harman's house will end soon.
Navdeep, thank you very much indeed. Navdeep Darwal there outside Harriet Harman's house.